Okay, we got the seal. I confirmed, broke the seal here, so...
Oh, you thought I might have
yeah, no, well, you were like...
I was like, yeah, dude, I just filled it up in the tap water over there. Guys, tonight, comedy night with Ted Jones at Asylum NYC. It's going to be freaking amazing, okay? Check the link in this YouTube video and get to that show. Sean, Millea or Millea?
Malay, like fish
Malay.
fillet. Yeah.
Oh, you like French, kind of.
That's what I used to think, but it's apparently Irish.
Irish.
Sean Patrick is also very Irish, which is my name.
As Sean walked in, I was like, dude, thank you so much for coming to the studio. As you guys, if this is your first time tuning into the Ted Jones World podcast, this is studio/apartment. So even though in New York City, a studio, when you think about studio, you think of just a smaller version of the apartment, but this is a duo. This is a 1-bedroom and a studio. But anyway, Sean came over, showed up, and we don't know each other.
We
Man,
don't.
I saw Sean on social media and I was like, this kid's hilarious. I've seen you've done a few I guess associates shows. Is that how you say it in comedy? People who you work with?
Colleagues, peers, sure. I don't know.
Well, maybe associate is somebody who like works for the same company as you, right?
I don't know.
Right.
I'm not good with
I've seen Sean in the mix and just wanted to get him on the podcast. So Sean, how are you, dude? I'm
pretty good. I feel good. I'm glad to be considered an associate because, it's always fun to do stand-up and to be seen as that by other comedians. So that's cool that are doing it. So feeling good. That's what I'm trying to say.
Great, man. So how long have you lived in the city?
So I went to NYU. I did that for 4 years starting in 2015, and I lived like in dorms for 2 years. Then I lived in Brooklyn for the last 2, and then I was here till the pandemic, and then came back in October. So
where are you from initially?
Jersey. Yeah.
Where in Jersey?
Bricktown.
Okay, dude. So I spent 6 weeks of my life in New Brunswick. You familiar with New Brunswick?
Yeah, I know New Brunswick. It's pretty close.
So was born in that hospital, spent 6 weeks in New Jersey, and then my family moved to New York. So I'm a Jersey boy at heart, though.
I see. Yeah. That's all right if you're not. I think New York. I want to be New York at heart. I think that's the cooler thing.
Are you living with a roommate over there in Murray Hill?
No, it was a risky financial move.
Okay.
I mean, it's COVID prices and it's like a studio, but you're supposed to do like 1/4 of your income.
That's what they say in New York. Yes.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like
I'm
that's
not doing that.
Well, that sounds like higher if you were to be in other places in the country. Just besides New York, people say 1/4, but I think like outside of the country, it's probably going to be like, I don't know, an eighth, maybe something like that.
Cool.
Well, if you, considering every other place.
Is there anywhere where
New York
16th
City,
is cool?
Yeah.
Because that's maybe what I'm doing, is a 16th or something.
So, Sean, I see you're very active on social media. I know that you work for one of the biggest guys in social media right now. So how does your day-to-day look like just being in New York since graduating from NYU?
I started with Gary Vee in like... When was it? It was 2020 September, and then I worked with him. I edited his TikToks for 3 months, and I was doing that from home. And then I realized I was like, I don't want to do this because like I love Gary. Like his content inspires the shit out of me, and so I was just watching his stuff every day, and it was like, you need to quit your job and do what you love. And I'm editing those videos, watching it all day, and I'm like. Okay, I guess I got to quit this job then.
Yeah, that's also got to be an issue working for Gary. He's like, because everything that he's preaching, it's like somebody who's working behind him, working for him, helping him do it.
Right.
That. So it's kind of funny. It's a good, funny angle.
Well, that's what I like, because I think I really like his stuff, and it's people will kind of like you say that, and that would be a funny thing for like people to make fun of him with. But I've seen so much of his content that I know what he would say, which is like, well, no, I tell people to have self-awareness. So like, not everybody is going to want to do what Gary does or what I want to do. So there's people that are totally happy editing his content and making him some guy that is, but yeah, so I did that for 3 months, and then I told him that, and he laughed, and he was like, well, it's funny you say that because I was actually going to tell you to work for 1:37 p.m. I thought you'd do good with that, so would you want to try that for like, a few months and see if you like it? And I was like, sure. And so now I just like make TikToks and video content for them, and that's like, it's cool. Like I can work from home when I want to, but I'll go to the office, and for me, a lot of like making videos is just kind of like, I wake up, like one time I literally looked at the map and I was like, oh, there's a dog museum. I'm like, that's cool. And so I like went there and I just film everything. Gary always says too, he's like, oh, if you're not feeling creative, just document. I was like, all right, so go to the museum. I film everything, put it in my editing software, and then I like do a voiceover like, is this the best museum ever? And then I like talk about it. And then that got like a bunch of views. So that was cool. And so that's like my day to day is just kind of like waking up and being like, what would a media company that's cool post today,
What does 1:37 p.m. stand for? Because I mean, I follow it on Instagram. I know that it's, you know, a Gary V, excuse me, under branching. But like, what is it? What's the meaning of it?
What I understand it to mean is like, apparently, like they were like, because Gary was always saying like, you don't have to even overthink a name, right? So like Post Malone, before he was Post Malone, probably somebody was like, what the hell's a Post Malone? You know that. But once he's Post Malone, you're like, yeah, fucking, I love that guy. It just rings in your ear perfectly. So apparently they were like trying to think of a name. He's like, it could literally be anything. The time. What's the time right now? And it was 1:37 p.m. He's like, boom, that's the name.
Wow,
so that's just
that.
the name now. Yeah,
Love that.
It is cool, right? So, but that's So it is like a random thing that I guess the point is kind of to show you don't really have to overthink things.
I thought that it just meant like it's the most productive time of the day. Like everybody's at their desks or everybody's getting ready to do some sort of content because it is kind of that time, you know, 1:37 p.m.
That is true too. Yeah, that we do a meeting every day at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, it's like you don't have to go and. Like, it's cool. Like, one time Mila Kunis was there just talking to the company.
I saw him. He had posted a clip with her the other day. He was like, while you were out there being a big global superstar. I forget what he was talking about. And he was also talking about like, staying home moms. People have passions for certain things. So I think Gary Vee, well, for those of you who don't know who Gary Vee is, big media guy, check him out. Google him. Gary Vaynerchuk, rather. But if you search him, Google him, you'll see he's just a very big motivational speaker type. I compare him to a person who I'm very fond of, like Tony Robbins.
Yeah, yeah. Like well, he gets that a lot.
A newer age of Tony Robbins.
Which I think it's funny because, like, he even says, like, he didn't even want to be that at first. Like, he was doing Wine Library TV on social media to leverage his dad's company because his dad had this wine company that he grew to, like, some way bigger number, and he did it through social media. And so that's part of the reason he became such a big social media guy is that. And then he hired a team to, like, there was one guy that liked him so much, his name's D-Rock, and he started filming him for free. And, like, basically he would just film them all day. And then Gary was, like, saying shit. He's like, because he's good at, like, giving people advice. And so he just started doing it to the camera. So he's really like who's the guy from Shark Tank?
Kevin O'Leary, Mark Cuban.
He's kind of like a Mark Cuban that has, like, this Tony Robbins side to him.
Yes.
Because he's really, like, this business builder. And so you saw he was on the Schultz podcast the other day?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I was like,
you were in the mix.
I was in the background. Nice. Yeah, it was cool. It was fun to be there. But then the next day, I'm like a starry-eyed kid ready to like watch the pod. And the first comments coming in are like all hate at Gary. And I was just in there arguing with people.
Kind of saying what?
They call him like a snake oil salesman or like, oh, Vapid doesn't really say anything. But I'm like, and then I'll be like, okay, how is he that? And he's like, oh, he's selling crypto, just a rug pull. I'm like, okay, that you didn't really look into it at all. So
yeah, because even like I saw Gary on the Full Send podcast. I watched like that whole episode, and I think he was just talking about how 99% of these NFTs and the companies that come out are going to go to zero, which he's very transparent about. And then that's what happened in the .com era. So while he is involved in like a lot of NFT projects, I mean, he seems to think that a lot of them may not even work.
Right. Yeah. And that he's very like, if you listen to exactly what he says,
like transparent about.
Yeah, he says everything people are worried about, but I feel like it's just very easy. He's such a like poignant guy, or like everything he says is like so when you take one sentence and put it on TikTok, it's like, oh, who is this guy? And so that's what people get. And it's still fun to make fun of him because he's such a eccentric person. Like Tim Dillon makes fun of him, Trevor Wallace, like they all, but it's still like, okay, but that doesn't mean what he's saying isn't cool. So that's my take. I don't know.
So in putting together your projects, I mean, is that kind of just like a side hustle? Or because I see you're getting so much traction just from the stuff that you're independently putting on, whether it's Instagram or a TikTok, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just cool to like have a job where I can like be paid to make things because it kind of incentivizes me. Because I'm a procrastinator a little bit. So like.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, when I'm like at home trying to. Like during the pandemic, I was also like sad about a girl, so that kind of didn't help.
Oh, dude, during the pandemic too?
Yeah.
When did you guys break up? Just
well, I mean, we didn't even like date. Like we hung out a few times, and like things happened. But she got back with her ex, and it just
and during the pandemic.
Yeah,
dude, damn, it's like double whammy.
Exactly. But it was weird because I almost it was weird because I enjoyed the pandemic in the sense that like I was like, well. She's home too. Like it's not like we have. Whereas if
she's
it was
not hooking up with a dude at home
at a bar, yeah. So I was almost like I took solace in that. I was like, okay, like they were like, hopefully the pandemic will be over next month. I'm like, fuck, like she's gonna be out there, like, but yeah, no. So that kind of so that bummed me out.
Back to your TikToks,
right?
Instagram.
So then I like got the job with Gary, and then I was like feeling much better about the girl, and that's when I would quit. And he was like, no, do 137. And it's cool because I'm getting paid to make stuff. And so like I'll make something during the day, and then I'll go do stand up at night, and then like I can make a video about that. Like they produced a show that you see the heckle show we did.
Yes.
Yeah. So I made a video about the open mic, the heckle mic. And
I think I saw that TikTok, bro. And it was like an open mic at Cellar 77. And they just yell at you the entire time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then that went kind of viral. Got like 1 million views. And my boss was like, not Gary, my immediate boss was like, dude, we got to produce this into a show. And so they, like Sarah, the girl that does the mic, a friend of mine, she just like put the whole thing together. I helped her a little bit. And then we just like, paid for certain things, made stuff come together and filmed that. That TikTok did well as well. So anyway, that's why the job's cool. Cause I can do stuff like that. The Andrew Schultz thing. Like, I'd never be in his fucking podcast if it wasn't for, going in with Gary. Maybe one day.
Well, at this point, yeah, exactly.
One day. But, like, so, and, I'm getting to meet people, and it's fun. And then I get to, like, give people advice on, like, TikToks, like, music artists and stuff. Like Young Nudie, I was at his concert, and I, like, filmed it. And then I made a TikTok that I didn't think would be anything, but, like, and it didn't even go viral, but he thought it was funny, so he posted it to his page. Do you know who Young Nudie is?
Yeah, rapper.
Yeah, so... And his fans ate it up. So I was like, that's cool. Like, that's weird. And I wasn't in it or anything, but it's just like, there's cool little things that I get to do. Whereas if I'm at home by myself, I'm going to, nobody's telling me to do something. Like, I might put it off for much longer.
So when did you get into stand-up?
The first time I did it was in high school. I did like the Rick Crom class, the Comedy Cellar class. Mm-hmm. So I did that. And then... then a year later in college, I did it for like a year, but like.
Well, were you doing clubs or like classes at NYU?
No, like open mics, but mostly Climate, or it was Laughing Buddha at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would I would drink beforehand, or I would like.
Oh, that's so funny you mentioned that. I was talking to somebody today. I was being like interviewed for this news article, and they were asking me like, were you nervous the first few times you were doing stand up? And I mean, obviously yes, I was, but like drinking before a stand up show, like that was something that I figured out like a few months down the line. That's something that I cannot do. I can smoke weed like the day of a show, maybe like 4 or 5 hours before a show, but I know that like I have a time limit, even on this podcast.
Like I did it too soon before this one, honestly, dude. I did.
No, dude, we can't tell.
Really?
Anyway, no, we can't.
Don't worry. Clam up a little more. You could see them like this,
But like 3 hours before the podcast, I'll say that I can. And the last time since I had an interview before this, last time I smoked weed was like, I don't know. I don't want to give up my spot too much. Probably 11 a.m. was probably the last time I smoked. And also, if you can see like around my apartment, the reason I have such respect for Gary Vee and such, and I've taken his words of wisdom and action, and Tony Robbins too. I have stuff all over my apartment that I have like little catchphrases.
That's cool. I do that too.
Yeah,
I do that
just
too.
Like all over the place, just so like if I do get distracted by anything negative, I just quickly look to something like, oh, that part is positive.
Dude, that's the thing that's so true. Like people like, you say the same thing. It's like, yeah, because you got to hear it multiple times. Like just because I heard somebody say something that's like positive for my mental health a year ago, or even a week ago, that doesn't mean I'm going to remember that on my own. Just because he's like, don't care about other people all the time. It's like, yeah, because I'll stop caring about what people think after watching that video for like 10 minutes, and then I'll go back to care, and then I'm like, I'll see him say it again. I'm like, dude, this guy's right, until it's beat into my head.
Yeah.
Where now I when I'm on podcasts, people ask me like, what should I do about content? And I go into Gary mode because I know that's like what worked for me.
What is like one thing that comics need to kind of zone in on?
Well, I mean, I'm still like somewhat like kind of new to stand up, so I always feel weird being like, this is what you
No, but
do.
I think you have a good vision of the fact that you're successful on social media, that you'd like to improve your stand-up comedy game, and there are people who have such a high
stand-up game, but no social media game. Yeah. So first off, I'd say just post clips with captions.
Okay, captions I need to do more.
Yeah, and don't use the automated ones. They look like trash. Like I would fucking take the time to do it yourself.
What do you use?
I use Premiere Pro.
Okay, I have Final Cut Pro.
Okay,
Like
you probably could do all the same stuff, but I know Premiere, so
Okay,
that's what I use, and I type it out, and then I like drag it a cut, and then I also like. So this is if you want to get really technical. Let me say the first thing first, which is you don't have to be technical. You could just do captions and post. And I'm always of the school of thought where it's like less is more. It's like writing an essay. You got to take out all the superfluous shit. But that said, my friend John Kennedy, shout out him. He fucking like posted a 3-minute stand-up clip to TikTok. got like a few million views. And I was like, damn, if you showed me this before posting it, I would have said, cut this, cut this, cut this.
Because, dude, when I don't mean to interrupt, but like I do vlogs twice a week. So I'll carry around my ZV-1 right there, and I'll just do clips of the entire week. And the entire vlog will sometimes be, anywhere, vlogs go from whatever to whatever. But maybe it's, let's say, anywhere from 6 minutes to 10 minutes. I'll take that 6 to 10 minute video and I'll clip it down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds and put that on Instagram. And that's tough in terms of like, I'm only doing that video, like posting on my page. I'm not doing a reel of it. So I find that sometimes when I put that on TikTok, it might not do as well. I need to find a,
I would say
a niche. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what the vlogs, like, are you turning, because reels is like a minute long. So I'd be turning them to like a vertical TikTok, like make sure it's vertical.
Yeah.
And you'll have to zoom in a little bit. Look at Gary. I look at his shit all the time because it's like, he'll have a really nice camera that was clearly like a wide angle, but they'll turn it into a TikTok and they just zoom in and, it's TikTok form. There's no black above or below it. That helps. I would say, cut it down to a minute. You could also use your phone. I don't know why you bring the camera. I mean, it's whatever you want to do. Like, I'm not going to discourage your artistic vision here, but the phone, like the reason I like the phone is because it eliminates all the in-between shit. Like, it's just like all you need is to whip out. You have it with you everywhere. You know what I mean? You don't have to charge it. You don't have to put everything on a card. You can just airdrop it to your computer or wherever you edit and stuff like that.
Well, but when you think about vlogging, does that kind of differ?
I do wonder, right? Like, I'm not sure.
Like if it's just such a different vibe, I feel like if I'm just having my phone, like, yes, I think it would be better, like, you're doing the up and down, but like carrying that around and just pressing record just seems to me like such an easier clip to clip basis than carrying around your phone.
Yeah, whatever works for you, like, because I know like David Dobrik is the biggest like vlogger I can think of that does that, and so he does that, so I don't see why you couldn't. I kind of, when I do like vlog shit, I make it for TikTok, so that's why it's like I might as well just film with a vertical phone. But then, with stand-up, so like, put clips up that you like, and cut them. I say put a premise in the beginning so we know what we're watching. I didn't even do that with the one I just posted, and I'm so pissed.
Wait, that's like it's like a quick 1 second. Sean does this. Sean goes to the concert.
That, or so like the one I just posted, I would have made the text in the beginning like, I've been catfishing guys, and then it goes away. So when you're scrolling, but I fucking didn't do that. I put it in the caption.
All right, nice. Well, now you know, bro.
I know.
Freaking learn on the pod.
But I was excited for that one. But
when do you have any spots this week?
No. Okay. No, all good. No, I do not. Just been doing some open mic grinds. My next show is your show.
Let's go. Yeah. April 12th, guys. Check the link in the bio.
Yes,
You'll see Sean at that comedy show. It'll be amazing. And have you been at the stand before?
I did Mama's Boy.
There? Right. Yes. I knew that.
But it was cool. I got your message. I was like, let's go. Like, they want me back.
They want you back.
I'm on the website too. That's cool.
No. Nice, man. Yeah, should be dope, and pumped for that. So we're doing like comedy shows once a week between Asylum and the Stand, and then I do like own separate shows here and there. So yeah, man. Super fun.
I saw you're a vegan.
I am a vegan.
Why? Can I ask why? Is that like an animal thing?
Yeah. So I had jaw surgery about 2.5 years ago. I was like, on one side of my mouth, my gum line was depleting. So the orthodontist suggested that I really did need surgery in terms of like reattaching my jaw from one side of my mouth to the other side of my mouth. So breaking my jaw in 3 places and like reconfiguring my jaw. It was a huge surgery. First 3 months after it, I really couldn't chew anything. No meat, nothing that you really need to chew on. So it was like fruits, light vegetables, oatmeal, soups. That was really the only thing I can eat for 3 months.
Damn.
So from that point forward, I was like, all right, well, I'll try this vegan thing. Then 6 months came around, and then 2.5 years later, I'm still vegan. I guess I'd consider myself, well, a year ago, I stopped eating fish, so I was a pescatarian up until then, but now I'm like fully vegan. And I'm enjoying it, man. I feel good.
No, that's cool. I took an animal ethics class in college, and it was it was all about like veganism and why you should be vegan, and I went into it like, I'm going to debate all these vegans, and like the first day they put up a PowerPoint of just every argument I could have thought of and like why it's wrong, and I'm like sitting there like, damn, I can't think of like. And it's like everything I've ever read online. Little Dicky had a song where he's like debating a vegan in bed together, and he like ends by like saying something that he thought was a great argument. I'm like, nope, they said that in the vegan class. Like, anyway, so I've been trying to go vegan.
Really?
I end up doing it for like a week, 2 weeks, as much as a month. Good. Yeah, I'll do it for like a month, and then all of a sudden, it's like cigarettes. Once you fucking fall off the wagon.
Yeah, you're going to keep chain smoking.
Yeah, it just takes one.
Do you feel better when you did it?
Sometimes.
Like, would you notice maybe in a day-to-day working out type of environment?
Yeah. Sometimes I would get like headaches, but I wasn't sure if it was that. I mean, because I also like wasn't a smart vegan. Like I would like kind of just get everything I needed from Trader Joe's, and then things would be running out. And I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll just like, I don't know. I would just eat unhealthy things that were vegan just to fulfill the veganism.
Yeah.
Instead of just getting something that might have filled me up more. But yes, I did feel better when I was doing it smart.
Did you see any of these documentaries that have recently come out?
No.
Vegan-wise, Game Changers, What the Health? None of these?
No.
Watch Game Changers on Netflix. And if you guys haven't seen that, I've definitely recommended that here before. But that's one that really changed my whole perspective. You know, I did believe in the concept of veganism for a very long time. But once I watched Game Changers and seeing how, and you can get that, and seeing how an athlete was really affected by the changes, and seeing his blood tests, blood flow, preparation, how much more he was able to do as an athlete, it really opened my eyes.
Yeah, no, and it's fun. Like vegans get such a hate. Like they're like the
we get a hate. People are like, "What do you think? We're better than you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking do."
You're like the Coldplay, Nickelback of like, dieters. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, and it's funny because there's like a great Louis C.K. bit where he's like, people get mad at people that are pro-life. But because they're like, oh, why are you so, I don't know. I forget how he verbalizes it, but like, he's like, oh, like, of course they're mad. They think you're killing babies. Like, you know, you don't have to agree with them, but they think you're killing babies. Like, of course they're going to be like pissed off. And so I always think about that with vegans. People are like, leave me alone. Like, who cares? I'm like, well, they think you're like, really torturing somebody. Like, of course they're going to be annoying you. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And well, the world is moving towards less meat. You know, you see more replica authenticated foods like the chicken, the beef, anything that's been in meat form, you know, is transitioning to not being in meat form just because it's better for the environment. So
I foresee because of that. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. So I mean, I think that it's going to start changing, you know, more rapidly than the last 5 years.
Oh yeah. And I think when that happens, like people of the future generations are going to look back on us.
Yeah, my grandma used to eat cows.
Yeah, well, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's despicable! Like, how could they do that?" Bro. You know, and like, yeah, well, you were given the solution. You know, like,
do you feel like you were getting a following because your TikToks were so successful?
Yeah, well, so the TikTok's really what was doing well, and then because I had the TikTok following, and then I went to work for Gary Vee, so that was kind of like an interesting mix or whatever. But it's weird how like, you know, I do that stuff, and then I just was like, I don't really know what I'm working towards, you know? Like, am I going to end up in a writer's room or something from this? Like, I've heard Twitter writers, you know, if you go viral on Twitter, apparently they get put in writers' rooms and stuff like that.
For other Twitter accounts?
No, for, like, shows. That's what somebody said to me once. Like, I heard all the Twitter people are getting jobs. I was like, I don't know if that's maybe.
Maybe that makes sense. Like, oh, that was a funny line. Come join our writers' room for late night.
I guess so, yeah. But the coolest thing is, like, if I had to choose writers now, it's probably based on everybody I've met through stand-up, because I'm like, okay, I could see with my own eyes who's funny just in being amongst them and stuff like that. So so doing stand-up, like, you know, I started up, like, more religiously in September, and what was I saying?
We're like both high here. We're like,
yeah, I know. I'm so high.
No, you're good, dude. We were just talking about writing room, TikToks.
Oh, where I want to be. So yeah, the stand-up starting that was like, cool. Now I have some sort of like North Star or some like skill to craft that's not just like some number on a social media page.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been an interesting spot. I mean, for me, just because I feel like, you know, we've gotten good traction from the comedy shows that we're doing. So now I'm trying to build the social media following on the other end. You know, I feel like I'm in a good place in that I'm not like a TikTok star who's trying to figure out the getting a lot of people to the comedy shows. So we have the comedy shows that are filling up now. I think it's just a matter of getting more people from the social media app. So I got to follow your lead.
Yeah, definitely. And just getting creative, like learn, like, you know, watch TikTok and really learn like look at stuff that goes viral and kind of get a sense of like, and look at stuff that's not like people with their phones. I'd say look at things that go viral that are like stand-up shows or like, and then you could kind of like adapt your show to that. Like, what clips from your show can you pull? Because I'm of the, like, after this podcast is over, there is a moment in here that is possibly a viral TikTok. And I believe that with all of life, like every little, yeah. If you edit something, and I've learned that just from editing TikToks, is like anything could be a TikTok moment. It's just like selling something or like keeping somebody's attention, or it's just like something interesting or fun. Like if you edit it right, it could be. So basically, what I'm saying is like when you have those shows and like film them, like try and find that 15-second, 30-second, 45-second clip that's like gonna make people watch it, and then just keep doing that. Like, so, you know, put out as many of those as you can and see what works.
Has Gary ever been to one of your shows, stand up?
No. Hopefully one day, but
hopefully the April 12th show. That'd be a good show to go to.
Yeah. I'll send them this. This could be a TikTok.
Absolutely, let's go. Good.
And then so I'll try. I mean, that'd be cool. The stand is the cool one to invite people to. Like you said, it's like the nice.
It's the spot. Yeah.
But then I invited my parents to the Mama's Boy one, and they're like very supportive, but it's just so much harder to do comedy in front of them.
Oh, that's interesting you say that. I think I have gotten over that within the last few months, man.
Yeah.
Just because if I were to think about it too much, I would just get way into my head, especially with some of the material I have. Like, obviously my set is not so dirty, but I'd say it's probably PG-13/R. Maybe I can make it PG. But I think like just having the fourth wall there and just pretending my parents are not there,
right?
Especially at like the Ted Jones comedy show, where like I can't get nervous, because maybe if it's like somebody else's show, I would get like a little bit more nervous before I do a set.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it's for the most part my show, I feel like I just have to crush all that, and you'll get there, dude. I mean, you have the chutzpah on TikTok, you just get the chutzpah on stage.
Yeah, I know. It's fun. I've had one stand-up clip go like do well, and there was comments like, "Oh, I want to see this guy do stand up." I'm like,
"Let's
no,
go!"
Yeah, but I was like, "No, you don't."
No,
like,
you do.
You do now. Okay, well, I'm getting closer to being but at the time, even that was like maybe a month or two into I'm just like knew how to edit it to make it look better, and it was also like an internet. It was a bit about like Facebook, so I like edited, I photoshopped like Facebook conversations and stuff.
Damn.
It was like put images and stuff. Like if you watch TikTok, like, and Gary especially is where I learned it, is like throwing in little stickers or things that accentuate what you're saying. That's better. That keeps people's attention, because when you're watching stand up, you don't need that, because it's intimate. You're in front of the person. It's a show. But on TikTok, you're competing with some dog that just barfed up like a street sign or something, a cat that's barking. Like, you have to like really keep people's attention. So like images with what you're saying, and the captions, both of them work in conjunction together. And again, like John Kennedy, who I brought up, does not do that, and he goes viral. So like, I'm just saying what works for me, and like a little.
Who's this guy, by the way? He works with you?
No, he's just a comedian I've met doing open mics. Wolfgang Hunter also is another one who's been going viral, and he does the image thing though.
Do you think you could have enough business if you were to just be an independent editor at this point?
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Just because you know how to do so many things on the social media platform.
Yeah, but I hate asking for money, or like I hate dealing with money, and like so I'm bad at that. I'd be like, this, and then I also just don't like editing, and like I like editing.
You don't like editing?
It's like not really. Like it's fun for my own stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like when you can kind of shape your own vision, you like it.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost like essay writing. It's like I don't want to write somebody else's essay, Maybe. I guess that's the best way to put it. Yeah.
So what do you have on tap in terms of projects within the next few months?
Good question.
Yeah, projects wise.
Nothing. Oh, actually, I'm going to VCon. That's cool. That's Gary's.
Nice.
Yeah, and so there's going to be some like
big speakers, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to get to speak to them in the green room and possibly interview them with like funny questions. So that's something I'm thinking about.
Where is that this year?
Chicago.
Chicago, and when is that? The summer? May.
Yeah. So that's cool. And then what else? I'm getting excited. I haven't thought about that one. I'm getting excited for that.
Yeah, you got the Ted Jones comedy show coming up.
The Ted Jones. Well, that's that's the big one. That's the North Star.
So also his VCon, is that like an NFT event too? Or I see you slowly starting to put together like NFT member groups.
Yeah, that's like, so he sold NFTs like last year, and then if you own one, you get to go to this like big event and see these speakers, and so I'm kind of just going to like help out and stuff. But yeah, so if you bought one, and when you bought them, they were like worth $2,000, and now and I almost bought one, but I was like, I was buying other crypto at the time, thinking I was gonna get rich off like my,
Sheba.
2 days of research. Yeah, Sheba.
Dude, I still have Sheba.
You do?
Can we freaking shoot to the moon already?
Come on,
God
guys.
Damn it.
Omi is mine. Does this podcast have the power to move markets?
Yes, absolutely. When we talk about pumping Sheba and Gary repost this, thank you. Cha-ching.
That's what's
funny.
This
is the moment right here.
Dude, he can move markets.
This is the moment. Gary, move it, bro. Sheba.
Sheba.
Dude, he also must love these little group projects that shoot to the moon. How does he feel about Dogecoin?
I don't know. And that's the thing. It's like I can't speak on it for him because he's already like a guy that like that's what I mean. So like on the Schultz pod, like I was just in the background and like it just feels like guys in a room. But then I remember I'm like, if he said like he's not like Elon level, but like he has the ability to make certain projects, go up or down.
Yeah,
and
so cool.
And it's interesting. I'm just sitting back like, wow, like I bet he's got to be super careful. Like I could just shout like Mooncats, like which is my NFT that I own, and I don't know, then I'd never get an invite again.
Yeah. Got to be easy there. Are you going to start a podcast?
I tried for work, and then it kind of like I didn't really. Maybe eventually, yeah.
Because I mean, bro, if you put 10 minutes of content out and then, as you say, you just chop it up, I feel like that would do so well. Even if you just do that once a week. At one time, we were doing this podcast 3 times a week, and it became a little much. That was when I had like a co-host here. But started off with once a week, then jumped to 3 times a week, and now just do it twice a week.
I might do a solo pod. Honestly, it makes more. I did it with my friend, and he's great, but it just. Less hoops if you
especially when you know how to edit
right
the audio board, whatever.
Wake up
literally, dude. And it's just right there.
Yeah.
Ted Jones World.
You like open the door like half asleep. Like, come on,
exactly, dude. And that's how I feel. But now we're starting, as you guys notice, we're starting to get more guests come through the podcast. And it's always great when we get interesting guests on the couch and on the podcast.
What projects you got coming up?
Right now, the Ted Jones Comedy Show, Comedy Night with Ted Jones. We're doing that at least once a week, at the Stand bi-weekly and then at Asylum NYC. So we have a show, I'd say now every 9 to 10 days, I'd say. So it's not once a week, but around every 9 days or so. So either 3 or 4 times a month, which has been great. And then the vlogs, man, have like 106 of those now. Started doing that a year ago, twice a week. And have the podcast. This is episode, I believe, 226. So we've been doing this for 2.5 years. And yeah, man, just trying to put forth the content, as you appreciate. So, just trying to do it as much as possible and get the Ted Jones World brand out there.
So how do you produce these shows? Because I did one with a friend like last week, and it was just like the day before we're like, yeah, we sold 2 tickets. I'm like, I don't know what to. So you just like gave out flyers in the park with donuts, and like that kind of did nothing. Nobody showed up from the donuts. So like, and then we did the barking, and we had like maybe 15 people, 20 people. So I mean, that's obviously
not bad though to go from like 2 to 15 in a day.
Well, yeah, I'm sure like comedians' friends came, and then you know what else happened? Like we had like our friends came to support, and so so it was like could we do that every week? Like probably not. Like I don't know if Well, yeah. So let me ask you, how do you do it?
Where'd you do it?
The Comedy Shop.
Okay, Comedy Shop. So like a good spot.
Yeah,
it's a good location. I think that when I initially started hosting the show, we did it for the first time at Asylum NYC, and this was like right as the pandemic was ending. I went to Asylum NYC. I was like, I would love to put together a comedy show. He was showing me around the space. Like I had seen it before, but I had never seen it before. I just like was interested in the actual space they had. I was like, okay, I could put together a lineup. So at that point, I had thrown a comedy show like 2 years before at my friend's art gallery. And I've known comedians for years. So when I reached out to the 10 comedians that I reached out to do the show at Asylum, they were all down. And then I had a ton of support. Like the first comedy show that I did, it had like 60 people, which is a lot.
Yeah, that's really good.
And I thought it was going to be like that every single time. So as you know, in comedy, it's just, you really never know how many people are going to show up. But having it, I think, at a place that's reputable and having a good lineup are definitely 2 ways to bring in a lot of attraction. So like when I'm first doing a show at a new location, I'll try and make the lineup as beefy as possible, where there's as many comedians as people know. And I think just the word of mouth does well after a few comedy shows, but the location and the lineup are the 2 most important things.
Is there anybody you haven't got yet that you really want to get?
That's an interesting question. I mean, just besides the fact that, Jim Gaffigan did one of our shows, which is amazing. And I'd say other guys that I want to get are like a Chris Rock, not just because
Yeah,
of the
not 'cause of the
occasion.
thing, yeah.
Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle. I want all those big guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, just the legends of comedy.
Yeah,
I'd love
of
to have
course.
on the show. But at this point, a year in almost, man, we've had a lot of great comics do it. And I don't think there's any comics that are really like are out of reach, which is nice to say at this point.
That's really cool. No,
Yeah,
that's
man.
awesome.
So we'll see. Just that, as the more we do it, I'm sure the better the lineups will get. But we have great lineups because we pick the best comedians in New York City, bro.
Yeah, you should appreciate that. You should take the moment to be like, damn.
Yeah. So it's nice to see how many different avenues you can really push forward and go towards. But like, when I'm thinking about TikTok, when I'm thinking about YouTube, when I'm thinking about Instagram, and then I'm also doing the Ted Jones Comedy Show, it's like, that's my full-time job.
Yeah.
So I'm focused on getting together this lineup. I wake up, I'm texting every single person in my phone book to come to a Ted Jones Comedy Show. And like, obviously we've had many strangers, people who have come back many times before. And also this guy just DM'd me on Instagram saying that he came to a show at the St. Mark's Comedy Club when there were 10 people in the crowd, and he's coming to the show tonight at Asylum. It's Monday that we're releasing this.
Yeah.
So things like that will happen.
That's good. No, that's cool.
Hey, if you're free, come to the show.
And I bet hundreds have been like, yeah, I'm coming.
Dude,
and
there's
then they
so
don't.
many, bro. Or like, maybe not hundreds, but there are definitely people, yo, yes, I'm coming. And that's like and that I will literally say to a person's face, like, all right, I'll see you there. Like just to really see if you can line up people's words with their actions. But a lot of people talk more than they do. And
Sometimes
I've learned
guilt
that
is
so much, man.
Yeah, guilt is like I've empathized with those people because I've said yes to things where I'm like days later when it's time, I'm like, fuck,
Yeah, I'm like, you don't need to say you're coming though.
Yeah,
you
no,
don't need to
you're
say
right.
that.
You're right.
You really don't.
And the thing is, like, I feel the guilt enough to go, but it helps when you say, I'll see you there then. It'll be like, cool, because we need you there or something. Like, just really, yeah.
Yeah, but at a place like the Stand and Asylum NYC, I mean, these are two of the top places in New York to go see comics and performing arts.
Yeah.
So
You don't really need them.
So it definitely helps to have that location behind your back. It's not like we're doing a bar show in Avenue B or something like that where you really have to do the barking and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, which is fun. It's kind of fun. I only did it once, but it feels like extra stage time a little bit.
Yeah, what were you doing? Just standing outside of Greenwich Village?
Yeah, and I was just like shouting at
shop.
people, and I'm like nervous, but like you warm up. Like I took a video of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like I just scrubbed through, and like at the beginning, I'm like shelled up, against the wall.
But dude, at this point, having such a big following on social media, don't you feel like you can kind of make like a good little promo video that'll attract 500 comments, and then whatever 10, 15 people come from that?
Well, the thing is, like, I don't want sure, but like they all follow me. Like, it's weird, right? So it's like if you start a YouTube channel teaching people how to fillet salmon, and you get
that's all they want to know.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying they don't, because I make videos that are funny sometimes, so that's like what they might like me for. But I just feel like weird promoting stand-up because I'm still not like at a place where I'm like, yeah, like I'm super confident in my ability.
All right.
And maybe I could make the promo video say that or something, so I have people show up. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather just do it the not vintage. What's the like OG way? Like for now, and just till I feel a little more comfortable. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
So, what
are some of the favorite TikToks that I guess you've posted that have gone super viral? I've seen a few, but I remember there was one in particular. You know what? I'm just gonna. We're going rogue, guys. I'm whipping out the cracked freaking iPad. I can't remember there was a ton of editing in it, bro. It was like maybe it was one of the ones you pinned. If I saw it the other day. That's hilarious. A porn website just came up on my iPad.
Really?
It wasn't me, bro.
Dude.
Okay.
iPad,
Sean, yeah, dude. It's just a rogue iPad right now. Sean, Millea, TikTok. Okay. Oh, dude, it wouldn't let me. It's not letting me go on because I haven't done this TikTok. But do you know which one I'm talking about? Can you pull up your TikTok for me?
Sure. I was already doing that to check the views like a vain piece of shit. Which one?
Justin Bieber messaged me. That's what it was. Justin Bieber messaged me.
That's
5 million views. What is? Explain that one.
So that was basically.
By the way, shout out your TikTok and Instagram just so we can check it out.
It's Sean Millea _. Cool.
I'll put it right here.
Sweet. Yeah. So the Justin Bieber one, I did this. I went to this place where we had to think of Mischief, the company.
I've heard of it.
we went to like they would like invited me to like do this like creative like thing where we like just talk about ideas they could do, and I was like, I forget like what the context was, but like we all came together with like ideas. I was like, I thought it'd be funny if we tried to get people to guess Justin Bieber's password, and they're like, oh, that's
oh my God, and he was like, hey, it's me.
And they were like, oh, that's whatever. And then they didn't really like it, so I went home. I was like, fuck it. I made a TikTok, and I was like, guys, everybody take his account name, put it in the login, and just let's all start guessing passwords. One of us is bound to get in. And it's like, it got like 200,000, or it got like and then the thing that made it really do well was I wrote a comment. I pinned it. It said, comment ones you tried already, so we don't all try the same ones. And so all the comments are funny passwords. And then I was like, so what happened was I started daydreaming. I was like, if I was Justin Bieber, what would I do? Well, I'd be a good sport. And I would tweet, I just got in. And then I was like, well, what would I say to him? And I like thought out everything, what I would do. And then I was like, you know what? Well, I'm going to make it seem like he messaged me. So I did the thing on Instagram where you make it unread. And so, so what I said in the first video was, everybody, once you get in, tweet, I got in. Did I say that? Okay. So I messaged me on Instagram, or I messaged Justin, and I said, I got in. And then I marked it as unread. So when you screenshot it looks like he messaged me. And so I was like, I did the video where I'm like, guys, look at this. I show the first video. And then I'm like, that's crazy. And then I'm like, well, now look at this. And I show his message. I'm like, that's crazy. And I was like, if it's Justin, you're a really good sport. What the heck? Smoked too early. It's from smoking. I was like, if it's Justin, you're a really good sport. But if it's one of my minions, surrender to me the password and stand down until further instruction. So it was like that's what I wanted to say to him if he was a good sport. But so that one was like one of my first viral ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's funny because it's like a lot of it is social. Like a lot of the shit I've had go viral is like making a joke of celebrities kind of, or like, fucking with them. But the second one was a Teletubby thing. Did you see that one?
No.
This one's kind of crazy. Like it was crazy because it was like insane so I realized if you tag celebrities on Instagram, your photo goes to the top of their tags, and you can everybody could see it, right? And so I took a photo of me from Halloween as a Teletubby, and I tagged Billie Eilish, and so it's just a photo of me as a Teletubby on our tags. And if you edit the photo, untag them, save it, and then re-edit the photo and tag them again.
Whoa.
Sorry, you go to we're following?
Yeah.
You go back to the top of their tags. So you could stay at the top of like Billie Eilish, A-list celebrity, 100 million followers. I'm at the top if I just keep all day doing that.
You just keep editing it and putting whatever, different hashtag, different caption.
I could do it right now and show you, and I'll be at the top of Billie Eilish. And, Billie Eilish versus somebody else, like she's getting tags every few seconds. So you really got to fight to stay at the top. And I made a video about that. I'm like, guys, I'm going to be doing this all day. And so the comments were like, oh, my God, it's still there. Like I was all day making sure that it was there. And then what happened was one kid started helping me because I was like checking it. And I'm like, oh, there's other photos. And I was like, made a follow-up video like, guys, look at this. This kid's helping me. And then I made a second video. I'm describing the entirety of the situation. And I was like, we're all going to do this until she responds and says sup. And for like a day and a half, I got so much hate from her fans. Like, this is how we communicate with her. And all her tags were me. Like, it was like thousands of memes were being made. And I realized she wasn't going to answer because it would like hurt her brand or whatever. So I was like, you know what? David Dobrik, he's a vlogger I've been watching. Let's do him because I think he'll respond. And so we did that. And like, sure enough, he made a TikTok about it. Like, what the hell is this? And also, it got crazier because it wasn't just him. Then there was other celebrities. Suddenly, Obama had all photos of me. Like every celebrity I looked up, it was photos of me. I'm like, how big is this? How many people are doing this? I was so confused. David responded, and then I did like more people. But it was crazy. It was like a cult. Like I went into some of the group chats I was in, and there was like governments forming. They were like, I'm treasurer. Like, and then some kid messaged me. He's like, yeah, I'm in a group chat where people are dissenting. They're saying that you're like using us for clout. And then there was like a second photo that they were using where I was beheaded in one. There was like it was the weirdest, like, and it was a very stressful, like it was fun and funny, but it was
What is this picture though? I want to see this picture.
It was a photo
also,
of me
we're putting it up right here in the YouTube video, but in the meantime, I need to actually see this video on the iPad. You have it there?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is.
Well, what was it called? Can I search that?
That's the thing that sucks about TikTok. You can't search things.
Yeah,
But it's on
Sean
my YouTube.
Millea.
This one explains it the best.
I accidentally started a cult. Wait. Can you put it up to the microphone and show the camera?
You may have seen this TikTok by David Dobrik. Every single photo, just Teletubby. They edit in the Teletubby into pictures of me. It all started in this TikTok when I asked people to tag David Dobrik on this photo of me as a Teletubby. Also, David would just say sub to me. Next thing I knew, thousands of Teletubby accounts were made. They all started tagging David, and then soon after, memes were made. For some reason, they started calling me their king and their leader and praising me. They made a Discord chat with a photo of Jesus with my face photoshopped over it. But then they started leading themselves inside these group chats. Apparently, they started forming governments and creating attack plans on their own, not even just against David. They started hitting up Charlie DeMillo, Shane Dawson, Bill Nye, and even Barack Obama. And like any good monarchy or cult, some of them started revolting against me. Now the Teletubbies are at war with people that are doing pictures of Dora and other things on David's profile. Someone asked me why I did it, and I wrote this the other day. It's been 4 days and it hasn't slowed down. To my minions, I applaud your tenacity. We can't stop until we get David to say sup.
And then he commented sup on that one. That's weird. I haven't watched that in a while, but I don't remember sounding so monotone and creepy when I made that.
That's crazy, bro.
That's great. Yeah, that one got 2 million, but this one got 1 million likes. This is the one where we got Billy. Or no, this was David. Yeah, they're a little cringy. Like, it's weird. I remember getting cringe comments and being like, "Oh, fuck you!" Like,
wait, but how long does it take to do some of these, bro? Because when I watch them, I'm like, "Yo, this has got to have taken at least a couple of hours."
Not really. Like, the editing is pretty quick. Like,
would you say? Would you call yourself like a master editor, the master creator?
No. I mean, it's tough still.
But I find that you're not really doing trends. You're just doing videos that require a lot of boom, 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 where the person who's watching it, I mean, has no choice but to keep watching it just because there's so much going on in the videos where I would think that you have to edit a lot.
I think to me it's just like the thing I think TikTok, the thing that works for me is telling stories. So like with that, it's just like, this is crazy thing happened to me. It's a lot like stand up. It's like, you know, if you got something that's interesting to you, or like something happened to you, or you just tell the story and people will connect with it. So that's the thing that works for me with TikTok. Like, trends are hard because everybody's doing trends. So the competition is like massive. Like, trends are only good if you like really think of a creative twist on them.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, TikTok, all TikTok is just videos that are, you know, they're allowed to be a minute, now 3, you know, or 10 or whatever. But basically what I'm saying is like, just like tell stories. That's what works for me. My favorite, I think, you saw the dog Tinder one. That one's I like a lot. I'll show you it. Can I show you?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I put my dog on Tinder. Like, I made the story up, but
Zog Tinder.
Oh no, I have the link here.
Scoop. By the way, you know who told me I should meet you and started this whole me knowing who you are situation? Shuey Fear.
Really?
Shuey Fear is my videographer. He shoots the vlog for me once a week. He follows me around.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Shuey, thank you. I love Shuey.
Dude, he's the man. I love Shuey.
Dude.
Such a great dude. He is in, I don't freaking know where he is. Shuey, where are you? The guy's in Peru or something. You guys have seen Shuey on the podcast before, and he does every vlog and does the Ted Jones Comedy Show. He's in Lagos somewhere right now, getting back in like 2 days, and he'll be at the your show on the 12th and tonight.
Performing?
No, but in the past he's done like 5-minute guest spots.
That's sick. Okay, here we go. Oops, hold on.
You want to restart that?
So I made her a dating
Bushes down my bake.
My dog's been lonely. So I made her a dating profile. At first we could only find humans. We almost gave up.
Watching in the mirror.
But then we found Sean.
Doberman.
She was happy, so I swiped right and he super liked us.
Oh my God, Harry.
Conversation went great.
How do you
we decided to meet up. She was nervous and excited, but when we got there, Sean looked different. He catfished us. She decided her human is all she needs. My dog's
Okay, but how did you get that the
Tinder?
text combo to go so fast?
I took my. Oh, okay. So well, the hard part was I had to take my mom's phone and make a Tinder on her phone with a dog.
Oh my god, dude!
then
See,
we had
this
to
is stuff
match.
that takes a long time, though.
Yeah, and then I had to set
Fresh
both
2
of us to a
million likes.
mile. I set both of us to a mile apart, and then I had to find us, match us, and then I screen record the conversation. I knew what I wanted it to be, so I just like wrote it out, sent it, and then what did I do? Oh, and then I just I put it in Premiere, and then I put the speed duration to 200% or 300%, and then I cut out little, like it took me a second to switch phones, so I'll cut that moment out, and then I have like a little a thing from work. It's like a graphic you put over the video, so you could see if anything's being cut off on TikTok, like with the buttons or the caption. So. But the hard part, like that, it was for work. That's why I like this job, right? Because I had to make a TikTok that day, and I was like, fucking in my room. I'm like, dogs, Tinder, put my dog on Tinder. And then once I know, I'm like, what would happen? I'm like, oh, imagine we match, and there's a cat. Like what's the worst dating experience? Oh, getting catfished, right? So putting my dog on Tinder, she's got to get catfished. The rest was pretty easy. I was just like, all right, I need my friend's dog. That's a Chihuahua, because that's a funny small dog that'll be. And basically, once you know the story you want to tell, it kind of all falls into place a little easier. And that's what makes videos, I think, go more viral, because it's like, oh, okay, you're keeping me engaged here. So, yeah.
Well, how do you decide what TikTok or, I guess, sketch kind of you put on your work and then what you put on your personal?
That's a good question. Well, I have to do one a day for them, so I'll do it more like media company when I can. And then some days I'll make like stand-up stuff. Like that I did because I didn't have anything. And I was like, I got to make them something. So I made it for work. And I was also like, oh, is this stupid? Is this cringy? And then like it did really well.
How many for that 1:37 p.m. do they post a day? And you're only responsible for one?
Yeah, they do like 4 or 5.
And that's from 4 or 5 different creators that just have the password?
Yeah, but sometimes we like funnel it into like a team lead or something to make sure that.
So also, how does that work though? Do a lot of people have the password to that TikTok or Instagram?
It used to be like all of us. Now it's like we have it down to like team leads.
So you send the video or clip to the team lead and then they post it.
Me, I've been like since I was here since the team lead, or like longer. So like I kind of just been grandfathered into posting myself. But
Okay.
I'll send it to him to like, hey, do you approve of this? And he's like,
with your person who you send stuff to, not Gary?
yeah, no, it's just this kid, Adam. And I'm like, hey, you think this is good for the page? He's like, shoot, fire it off. Like he never says no or anything, but I still do it just in case I'm like, I didn't realize that something was terrible or something. I don't always read all the comments, but you got to read the first ones to make sure you didn't say something atrocious and not realize it or something. Like somebody will tell you, like, oh, this is this. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't see it that way.
So are you, you're one of the people that have been at 137 for, you're one of the first people, no?
No, it's been a long, I think it's been since like 2018 or 19.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah,
it was 2020 it started.
Maybe if you know that and I don't, then that's pretty
No, I
cool.
don't. But do you go to the Hudson Yards office ever?
Yeah, it's fun. There's a nice view that is really beautiful, and it's a cool like a cold brew and stuff.
Let's go.
Yeah, right. But then I love the Larry David scene in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's like says to some lady at an office desk, she's got an awesome view behind her. He's like, how long did it take you to get over that view? She's like, I don't know, maybe like a week or 2. He's like, it would take me like 20 minutes. And I always think about that because it's an amazing view. And I think it's like powerful. Minutes. Like it's almost like what we were talking about with the moving goalpost thing. Like I think that's all of life. Like if you had all of your dreams go like hopes and aspirations tomorrow, it's like the view in my office where after 20 minutes you're like, all right, like, now what? Like
yeah, licking your chops for the next thing.
Yeah, the hedonic treadmill or something. It's called,
man.
Or hedonistic treadmill.
So wrapping this up, bro. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Kicking me out.
An hour on, dude. No, absolutely not, bro. You want to stay here another hour?
No, that's cool.
Fire it
I'm
up.
supposed to be working right now.
You are working.
Cool.
So what do you see for yourself within the next next year? The same stuff you're doing now? Yeah,
I'm just gonna keep grinding stand up, writing and like putting it on TikTok when I think it's a good clip and I've also been doing the behind the scenes, like people like the inside baseball. I realized that I filmed for Mark Normand once because I really liked his vlog style, and I was like, dude, I think it's so cool. And so like I've just been like showing the come up of like, you know, this is open mics and this is that and that. And so it's cool to like use that as leverage for stand up, but also leverage for more social media content because people think it's interesting. So just keep doing that, see where it goes.
Yeah, man. And anytime you want to stop by a show that you're not on or whatever, you want to get a guest spot, do one of those videos, you know, you're absolutely always welcome.
Okay,
and
cool.
I'm super pumped to have Sean on the Ted Jones Comedy Show. April 12th, guys, get to that show. It's going to be amazing. We'll have Sean do 10, 11 minutes. He's going to freaking crush, and I cannot wait, man.
Dude, Ted, sorry my hands are sweaty
Oh,
I'm
Sean,
nervous,
you're the man, dude. Thanks
Dude,
so much for coming on.
of course.
And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.